Blissfest is the best. Yeah, Blissfest the very best. Yeah, that's right. You might have heard that, but Blissfest, yeah, first.
All right, everyone. Welcome to Blissfest333. I'm Vincent Powell. I'm here with Ivan. Ivan, how do you pronounce your last name?
Pavletic.
Pavletic.
Yeah.
Did I say that right?
Yeah, Ivan Pavletic is...
Ivan Pavletic.
Right.
And tell us a little bit about yourself real quick.
I'm an indie filmmaker, low-budget filmmaker, stationed here in Colorado. Been doing this on and off for a while. Trying to promote films, trying to be connected with films in and around Colorado, and trying to do the same thing that majority of us try to do.
Oh, how many films have you had that are published and up and running now?
Right now, of the features that I directed, 2 features are out. One is Sane in 1974. About Vietnam veterans, and the other feature is the first chapter from the 476 AD saga. So 476 AD, Chapter 1, The Last Light of Ares, which is now on Amazon.com, so Amazon Prime. It's on Vimeo on demand, YouTube on demand, and a couple other distribution platforms like that. So
you're directing and acting in these features?
Yeah, I try to do everything I can, which is sort of the situation when you're low budget. You don't exactly choose that much what you want to do, so you end up doing a lot of things. So you end up being the mother, the father, the uncle, the grandpa, the cousin, the whole 9 yards.
Do you have a large cast?
Oh, yeah. I mean, when we started the pre-production 476 back 5 years ago, it was really a huge production. I had a little bit of a budget then, altogether the budget on the 476 films is give or take about $100,000 in the last 4 years that all went into it. A lot of that money went into uniforms, metal armor, this, that, swords, leather straps, this, that, togas.
Tell me a little bit about the location and your sets.
So, when we started, when I was producing and working in the pre-production, there were some companies that were gonna put more like major money into it, and we were supposed to have some studios and etc. And then pretty much that all failed in the summer of 2010. And then I was caught sort of in a situation where either we cancel the whole production or just go forward, and I decided the way I am to go forward anyways. So I pretty much took my condo and took an entire room, which is about 400 square feet, painted it blue, green.
Oh, so you used the green screen, blue screen.
Yeah, so we pretty much shot a lot of the studio sequences in a space which is practically half of this space.
Half size,
yeah. So it was tight.
Right.
There were moments where David Quickenbush, who was the DP, was shooting the green screen. It was really tight, and if the camera went just a couple inches this way, you could see the fridge and my kitchen on the side. So it was really tough. We shot entire Roman Senate sequences.
In CGI, using all the CGI.
Yeah. So we did a lot of green screens. Then Bradley Burroughs, he helped a lot on with the green screening and then keying out the green, and a lot of work went into this. I mean, when you look at it, a couple of nutcases, if I can say, getting together and making something that would cost at least a couple of $1 million in Los Angeles, we make it for, I don't know, less than 5% of that price, And
so primarily, though, besides the CGI, are you using any locations outside?
And then we used the location on Broadway and Colfax that the Roman pillars at the Civic Center. I went did the research with camera, how it would look if a shot is done from one angle through the Roman pillars,
Right.
you know, and you have to be really careful, station the camera right at the right angle, because if you just go an inch this direction, then you see the light on Colfax and Broadway.
On the corner there,
The
yeah.
other you see the Civic Center building. So that was a little bit tough. We tried to do some monologue there, but you know, with the traffic
With
and
the traffic
everything,
noise and all that, you
we couldn't do any dialogues and anything. So some of that needed to be ADR'd, and most of the dialogue was done actually in the studio.
Right.
Except, and then we shot a lot of sequences exteriors in Elbert, Colorado. Which is, now I'm working on that on the chapter 2, on the sequel for the 476 chapter 2, the dawning of the age of Pisces, which deals with, so the story is, I wrote pretty much a book about the 476, and I'm actually writing another book about Vatican Files, which is pretty much chapter 3 in the Dark Ages. But that's not part of the movie. That's something else I'm working on.
Well, why don't you give us a little bit of the 476 and
so,
go through it with us at the same time?
Yeah. Alrighty. So let me go. Let me get to. So here is there are a couple of trailers. So I'm going to show you the first trailer that came out a few years ago, which is pretty much for chapter 1 primarily. Okay, so yeah, here we have 24,000 views. Okay, so this is pretty much more like the chapter 1 presenting. And with this trailer, this is pretty much done in 2000, I think 2011, 2012, 11. So for 5 years.
How's that audio look,
Yeah.
Mike? Is it good on both sides? Yeah.
Yeah. So interesting thing is when I did this trailer, not everything was even shot fully. You know, so this was shot. This trailer was put together with about 75 to 80% of the footage that was shot, but there was still footage that was supposed to be shot in Croatia and Rome, and I didn't have the money yet because all the budget at that point went down for this. So I had to wait for another about 6 months or so to go to Croatia and shoot sequences with the Croatian actor Igor Gallo. And I mean, it was really a pain in the neck because, I mean, this whole sequence of shooting and then reshooting certain sequences went pretty much
And then integrating them together.
up to 2012. So, you know, it would be like you would have, let's say you have a $30,000 budget at a moment, and then you use all this up, and then, okay, you gotta wait to get either student loans or this or that, whatever you could put in, and then you get more budget, then you go across the pond, you shoot other sequences, you come back, re-edit that, then you find out you need more stuff, but you have no budget, then you go back, shoot the sequences, and then when you have pretty much everything you need from Rome, from Croatia and everything, and all the
that's
footage,
when you integrate it, right?
then you start integrating. So like in chapter 1, for instance, Flavius Aetius, when he speaks, who I play General Flavius Aetius, he speaks to the Roman crowds, and then you have the Roman senator Magnus, who's played by a local Colorado actor, Peter Gzowski, having eye contact with Igor Gallo, who's the Croatian actor. They never met each other because all of his sequences were shot in Colorado, and all the sequences by Igor Gallo were shot in Croatia in a period of a year difference. So, you know, I had to integrate stuff from like 2011 with stuff from 2012 into one thing by the end of 2013, and then in 2013 we had you know, the premiere of the first one.
Right.
It was, I think, February 5th was the premiere of the first one.
So when you integrated these together, right along, say, like with the extras and things like that, so those were complete different shots themselves, right? Those
a lot of
sequence,
it,
And then you would integrate all these together.
Right, and that was sort of a pain in the egg. You know, one thing that I made sure is that every single footage, every second of the film is legitimate our footage.
Yes.
Nothing was rented out. Nothing is from public domain or anything.
Right, something like that.
The only thing that we have from
no stock footage.
No stock footage. I was against the stock footage. So so we do have classical music, which is royalty free, so not necessarily free domain, but public domain. You know, so everything that's, I believe, everything that's over 70 years old becomes public domain unless it's owned by a
unless a relative comes in and
something like that. But pretty much, you know, Mozart, Bach,
all
Wagner, Tchaikovsky. That's pretty much all public domain. So I ended up using a lot of that stuff. Now, what I ended up doing is, because I'm a big fan of like classic cinema, 1950s, 60s, up to 70s, sort of that more celluloid look. You know, I like a lot of the Italian cinema, which is sort of like Fellini, Sergio Leone, the kind of more of a freedom of the dynamic in film rather than going by certain structured formula.
Oh yeah, like the spaghetti
westerns, and you know they seem a little bit off and a little bit nuts and crazy because they're not done by that Hollywood Aristotle's Poetics formula of Act 1, 2, 3, inciting incident, plot point 1, plot point 2.
Well, you know, it worked for who else?
Tarantino does that. Tarantino does that. He uses a lot of.
Even Eastwood, when he first started doing the spaghetti stuff, it was almost in that same format.
Well, you know, I mean, technically, Eastwood is Eastwood thanks to spaghetti westerns. Clint Eastwood was, I won't say he was a nobody, but he was really not that known.
He was just a television actor.
He was a TV actor and episode actor who was really not that known in the 50s and 60s. So it really wasn't until about 1966, 67 when Clint Eastwood sort of became that Clint Eastwood that we know, the man with no name in spaghetti westerns. And then I think it was 71 that Dirty Harry started and then his career just boomed. But it was really interesting that, you know, he's American born. He literally couldn't find real work in LA. So other than having some a few TV episodes on one Western show, there was really no work. So he actually literally moved to Rome. And was just working in Rome, in Cinecittà, doing whatever, and until finally he got a hold of Sergio Leone, and this is 1964. And for 1964, so I don't know, well, inflation in lira, that's like millions of liras, but in US dollars, I think it was something like 35,000 US dollars worth in the 1964 inflation dollars. So let's say it's about like 300,000 today.
300,000 today, right.
And they started shooting a fistful of dollars. And it was sort of an experimental Western because you look, this is 1964, so you still had John Wayne, you had Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, Paramount. I mean, they controlled the genre of that John Wayne golden Western.
During that time,
And here comes this Italian guy making, you know, a Western, shooting it primarily in like Spain and some places like that.
And it's supposed to be in Mexico. That's
It's supposed to be in Mexico. And the best thing is I mean, it's sort of similar how we started 476. I mean, budget was really low. I think that Clint Eastwood got only a few $1,000s worth actual payment for that movie. And I think that Clint Eastwood actually had to get his own clothes.
He had to get really.
Yeah.
See, some good stories. I've never.
You know, he had to literally get his own clothes, and it was really sort of a very pioneer kind of thing. You know, I used that in like I had an interview with Croatian World Network, and they asked me, and there was something about what I compare experience of like 476 with, and there's a film that was made at UCLA. Or no,
do we have that there? Can we take a look at it?
Yeah. So
let's take a look at that.
Yeah, Dark Star is the name. It was Dark Star. It was done by John Carpenter and Dan O'Bannon.
Wow, what year was that?
And this is 1973. So it was USC, University of Southern California.
Oh, okay.
And they were in their late 20s, maybe early 30s, late 20s, something like that. And they were going to do like a film school longer shorts, about a half an hour, maybe 40-minute long sci-fi experimental film. So they started doing this really ultra low budget dark star, but there was something about the film. I mean, it is sort of corny if you look at it compared to the today's films and all that. It sort of has the kind of a. I mean, there's no CGI. This is 1973, 74. It's ultra low budget and all that. I mean, they shot sequences in like the basement areas of USC.
Probably just a one camera setup.
Yeah,
too.
I mean, they were using the school's 16mm camera and things like that. But somehow there was something about the movie that no matter how low budget and bizarre it was, it caused interest. You know, it had a cult-like element to it. You know,
a good follow.
And people just sort of followed it. You know, I think a lot of people might not like this movie because their expectations are really high. But there was something about it that was completely different than anything else ever made. That made it interesting enough. And, you know, when I look at like 476, for instance, 476 is an experiment done in a way that nothing like that exists. You know, there's nobody who made a Roman epic in a garage, in a basement, in, you know, stuff like that.
It's always on a great big set.
It's always, you know, $200 million, you know, and etc. Yeah, of course. I mean, give me $100 million.
They go to Mojave Desert.
Right.
Like
I mean,
and build a set out there, right? Yeah.
So, you know, I think we're entering a new time in film, whereas like we're entering a time in film where originality is something what's more important than quality. Because I mean, we have so many remakes of a movie. There's so. Oh, we're wrapping it up.
And then the thing of it is be able to use the CGI, like you're saying nowadays. The comfort of being in the smaller studios.
So yeah, here's you know, I also paint. This is really, you know, my first art is drawing and painting. So here's oil and canvas, you know, stuff like this. What I do. So I would also do all of my storyboards. That's all done by me, pretty much.
By yourself,
You know, so I use you know, this is done. You know, when I studied art school of.
So this is your work.
Yeah, School of Applied Fine Arts. So we did a lot of like.
I really like it. It looks great.
Italian School of Art, which is you pretty much copy a lot like the Italian masters. You know, Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo and company. You know, you do a lot of pencil, chalk and stuff like that. So, you know, but yeah, you know, you try to stay busy. Here's another oil on canvas. It's the back of Aphrodite. You know, so you try to do stuff like this. You try to stay busy. You try to do as much
as you have. I would think it would keep you busy.
Yeah, you know, but here, you know, the number one thing that always comes down to is money, you know, because here's another realism, which is, I really love the Denver blue sky. So this is oil on canvas, you know, I actually used this painting in a film in the background one time. Yeah, just an experiment, because it has, so, you know, stuff like...
There's our Bronco colors.
Yeah, Bronco colors of like the sunset in Denver. So, you know, I mean, I do this, I love doing this, but, you know, we all come down to, you know, all the filmmakers come down to one thing. You need to buy food, you need to pay rent, you need to live, you know.
Exactly.
I mean, you need to get paid. So the whole thing is, you know, we are on Amazon, 476, Chapter 1 is on Amazon. Sane in 1974 is not yet on Amazon, but it's going to be soon. You know, you try to make money off it, but it's really sort of tough. You know?
You know, the whole thing of it, before we wrap up here real quick, is that's what we're here to do. We're here to actually perform, produce, and release, so we can make money.
Right. Well, you know, I mean, now, like this Monday, 24th, we're going to have a premiere of another feature film. I didn't direct that one, but I acted in that, called Fanny Pay. And a lot of people, you know, who are here in Colorado, Lynn Jordan, Spencer Kane. I'm bad on names.
But you know what? I'm meeting more and more you guys this past 2 years that we've been together.
Yeah.
And it's really enjoyable. I really enjoyed working with you guys and learning all these different things and techniques. And I know Mike says we got about a minute and a half here to wrap up.
You know, and then you try to stay busy. You try to work around and my number one thing is. Okay, for instance, Quentin Tarantino comes to Colorado around Telluride, making The Hateful Eight, and he brings his own. Well, his company brings his own crews from LA. I mean, there's plenty of talented people in Colorado who could have worked on this,
and plenty of equipment. We have everything.
Plenty of everything. No, but unions and this and that.
Right.
No, Colorado people were shut out of this production, and this is something that needs to be worked on because. That's not okay.
You know something I just heard recently. Now that you're talking about that, is how the Colorado film industry is dispersing that into those locations because of those certain people. But it's different for when it's here in Denver.
Right.
It's a completely different budget. I heard.
Yeah, well, and they used to do like TV series. I can't remember which ones back in the 80s.
Perry Mason, several other different ones.
They were done, and I think
Dynasty.
Yeah, Dynasty.
But a lot of that was just partial because they'd come and do, like you said, sequences here, and they'd take that back to Hollywood, and they'd do it in their studios there.
Yeah, and I think there's something needs to primarily change in the Colorado system of film because I think there's too many people here who are moving to LA, they're moving wherever, they're going to New Mexico, driving back and forth, and some people make it good,
And I feel the same way what you're saying, Ivan, is that because I've been saying the same thing that there's no one actually going to come here and scout out for the talent here.
Yeah.
So therefore, we have to produce and distribute from here.
Right. And I think the number one problem is, and we're done. Okay.
Okay, we're wrapping it up.
All right.
Well, thank you so much.
Sounds good.
And it's a good screen test of music.
Alrighty.
Blissfest is the best. Yeah, Blissfest the very best. Yeah, that's right. You might have heard that, but Blissfest, first very best. It's the very best. Yeah, Blissfest, very best. So turn the woofer up. Let me hear bass. That's right, coming into your